Welcome in, learners. April 2025.
Yeah.
Astrologically.
Yeah.
It's going to be something. And we've gone deep, really deep, into all sorts of forecasts just for you.
Yeah, this is your express lane through the cosmos for the month ahead. No need to get lost in the stars.
We're talking Steve Judd astrology. We've got Theodore, even World Astrology Report, Joni Patry.
Oh, and Lisa Salvatore, astrologer and psychic, can't forget her. Plus lunatic astrology, Rick Levine, and AstroKit, all those YouTubers. Plus some good old-fashioned astro text just to make sure we've got all the bases covered.
Right, so we're not just skimming the surface here. This is about you. What might you experience specifically based on your sun, moon, rising sign, the whole shebang?
Key dates, those global events that, well, astrology kind of hints at. We're unpacking it all. But remember, it's a roadmap, not a rule book.
Yeah.
Your April is yours to make.
Okay, so big picture. Headline news from the cosmos for April. What's the vibe?
Buckle up, because March, kind of a drag, right? Venus retrograde, Mercury retrograde, eclipses galore. Felt like wading through mud.
A bit, yeah.
But April, direct motion, baby. Things start moving forward. All that introspection from the retrogrades, those lessons learned, time to put them into action.
Love that. Action over analysis, right? So what should we watch for as things start picking up speed?
Neptune in Aries, huge. Started end of March, but the effects will be felt all month. Neptune's all dreams, illusions, spiritual vibes.
Right.
But Aries, that's the initiator, the go-getter. So expect a surge of bold, new ideas, people ready to break free from old patterns.
Sounds exciting.
It is, but Neptune also brings a bit of fog, especially early in the month. Got to balance those big visions with a dose of reality. Not every shiny new idea is gold, you know?
Dream big, but stay grounded. Makes sense. Speaking of fog clearing, when do those retrogrades finally end?
Mercury, our communication planet, goes direct on April 7th in Pisces. So misunderstandings start to clear up, things unstick a bit.
Ah, thank goodness.
Then around April 15th, Mercury zips into Aries. Communication gets more direct, more assertive, no more beating around the bush.
And Venus?
Venus, all about love and beauty and those things we value, goes direct on the 13th in Libra. And guess what? Same day as the full moon in Libra.
Whoa, double Venus energy. That's got to be major for relationships.
It is. Plus, Venus will be snuggled up with Saturn for a week or two around that full moon. Saturn brings the commitment, the responsibility.
How interesting.
So think relationships getting serious, facing challenges head on.
And this was something Steve Judd mentioned, right?
Exactly. He was also saying, watch out for financial institutions, exchange rates around mid-April. Things could get a little shaky. Crypto, probably not your best bet then.
Good to know. So mid-April, big shakeups, both personally and maybe globally in the money world. Anything else jump out at you? Planet was.
Mars enters Leo on April 18th. And that, my friend, is where things get spicy. Leo is fire and Mars is action, so.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. And then starting around the 18th, but building to a peak on April 29th, Mars in Leo goes head-to-head with Pluto.
Mars and Pluto, that sounds intense.
It is. It's a power struggle, basically. The third and final one in a 2-year cycle, no less. So expect some major showdowns both in your own life and on the world stage. Control issues, assertive energy, maybe some conflict. It's a wild card.
Whew, okay. Anything else we should be aware of during the first half of April?
Oh yeah, there's a stellium in Pisces early on. Mercury, Venus, Saturn, the North Node, all piled up in the sign of the fishes.
What does that mean for us?
But basically, it's time to clean up those emotional loose ends, especially anything to do with communication, relationships, trade. Bring some compassion to those unfinished chapters.
Wrap things up, get clear.
Got it.
Then second half of April, things shift gears again.
Totally. Mercury and Venus into Aries, Mars and Leo. It's action time. More direct, more assertive, less contemplation, more doing.
Sounds like a real change of pace.
It is. And remember, Mars and Pluto are brewing that opposition. Things could get heated.
So, end of the month, what's the cosmic weather looking like?
New moon in Taurus on April 27th. Think new beginnings, especially around finances, security, building something solid and lasting.
Okay, that gives us a great overview of April's astral landscape.
Yeah.
Now let's get specific. What about our Aries friends? What's in store for them? Sun, moon, or rising? Doesn't matter, right?
Aries, this month is all about you. Sun in your sign, your energy is through the roof. Time for new beginnings, pursuing those things that light you up.
Go, Aries, go!
Full moon on the 13th. Libra is your opposite sign, so relationships will be front and center. Big decisions might need to be made.
Makes sense.
Then Mars into Leo. Your fellow fire sign. Watch out. Your passions are ignited. Romance, creativity, it's all amped up.
Sounds fun.
And to top it off, new moon in Taurus on the 27th could mean some fresh financial opportunities coming your way.
Wow, April's looking good for Aries. What about Taurus? What should they be focusing on?
Taurus, you're all about self-care this month. Mind, body, spirit, the whole package. That full moon in Libra on the 13th might push you to let go of those habits that aren't serving you anymore.
Good advice for all of us, really.
Right. And with Mars going into Leo, your home life gets a little jolt. Might be some restlessness, some creative urges around the house.
Oh, interesting.
But the real highlight for you is that new moon in your sign, April 27th, a true rebirth, Taurus. Time to shine from the inside out.
I love that. Radiance. What about our Gemini friends? What's on the horizon for them?
Gemini, get ready to socialize. April's your month for networking, meeting new people, making those connections that could really help you reach your goal.
Sounds busy.
It will be. That full moon in Libra shines a light on romance and creativity for you. Some choices might need to be made.
Decisions.
Decisions.
Then Mars into Leo. Oh, you'll be bursting with ideas and energy for new projects. Just watch out for communication snafus, especially online. Travel might be a little bumpy, too.
Good to know.
But with all that activity, the new moon in Taurus on the 27th, it's a reminder to slow down, recharge, prioritize you.
Balance, right. Okay, what about Cancer? What should they be looking out for? Cancer, April could bring some deep spiritual awakenings for you. New truths, a focus on your beliefs, maybe even some long-distance travel.
Wow, that's quite a month.
It is. And the full moon in Libra, it's all about home and family, your personal comfort zone. Decisions might need to be made there too.
Okay, so Cancer's nesting a bit.
In a way, yes. But then Mars into Leo, that boosts your energy, makes you want to take charge of your finances, maybe be a bit more assertive in general.
Interesting.
And that new moon in Taurus, you might see a popularity boost, maybe even some financial gains. Not bad, right?
Definitely not. Okay, what about Leo? What kind of experiences await them?
Leo, April is your time to rise above challenges and embrace new beginnings. You'll feel inspired, optimistic, ready to take on the world.
Classic Leo.
Exactly. And that full moon in Libra, your communication, your social media, it's all buzzing. Pay attention to those messages, those conversations. Big decisions could be swirling around you.
So stay connected.
Absolutely. And then Mars, your ruling planet, enters your sign. Boom. Your personal ambitions are on fire. Leadership opportunities, but maybe some clashes with others too.
Got to be careful with that fire, right?
Definitely. But the new moon in Taurus on the 27th, that could bring some amazing new career opportunities, maybe even some public recognition.
So overall, a pretty good month for Leo.
I'd say so. What about Virgo? What should they be prepared for? Virgo, get ready for some major transformations, your relationships, your public image. It's all under the cosmic microscope.
That sounds intense.
It can be. That full moon in Libra, it's shining a light on your finances, your self-worth. You might discover some hidden financial info, too.
Oh, that could be good or bad?
Could be either. Mars in Leo might zap your energy a bit, and there might be some hidden enemies lurking.
I know.
But on the plus side, Mars also gives you the strength to walk away from anything toxic. And then the new moon in Taurus, that's a breath of fresh air. Optimism, solutions to problems, new doors opening.
Okay, so some challenges, but also a lot of potential for positive change. What about Libra? What should they be focusing on?
Libra, April's all about your relationships and setting healthy boundaries. All that Aries energy flying around might make things a bit more confrontational than you'd prefer.
Oh, dear.
But it can also help you get clear on what you need to feel balanced. The full moon in your sign, that's a big one for you, especially for letting go of things that no longer serve you, especially regarding health and well-being.
Ending chapters.
Exactly. Then Mars into Leo puts the focus on your career. Big energy for chasing those professional dreams.
Sounds productive.
It will be. And finally, the new moon in Taurus.
Yeah.
Think shared resources, intimacy, deepening those important connections.
A nice mix of personal and professional development. What about Scorpio? What kind of experiences await them?
Scorpio, April's your month for focusing on those daily routines, your health, your spiritual side. All those planets in Pisces really emphasize that.
So Scorpio's going inward a bit.
You could say that. The full moon in Libra. Perfect time for some rest and introspection. Recharge those batteries.
Much needed.
Right. Then Mars into Leo. Oh, that gets your ambition firing on all cylinders. Career, public image, you're going for it.
Scorpio's making moves.
They are. And the new moon in Taurus on the 27th, that highlights your partnerships, legal matters, that kind of thing.
So a good balance of inner work and outer achievements. What about Sagittarius? What kind of adventures await them?
Sagittarius, April is all about your social connections, your friendships, and those big future visions you have.
Sounds like fun.
It will be. The full moon in Libra might have you making some decisions about your passions, your hobbies, where you want to go in life.
Big picture stuff.
Totally. And you might just find yourself more popular than usual. Then Mars into Leo. That just amplifies those future goals, that urge to explore new things.
I can see Sagittarius itching to travel already.
Oh, for sure. And then the new moon in Taurus. That shifts the focus to your work and health routines. Could be a new job on the horizon, something that really aligns with your passions.
I like that. Okay, what about Capricorn? What's on their agenda for April?
Capricorn, get ready for a month of personal growth and letting go of the past, stepping outside those comfort zones, especially around family matters.
Sounds like a challenge.
It can be, but it's also about you defining your own path, envisioning your future. That full moon in Libra, it's putting your career in the spotlight. Time for a reassessment, maybe?
Okay, so some reflection on the professional front?
Yeah. And with Mars moving into Leo, things heat up in your intimate relationships, clearing out old patterns, setting boundaries, that kind of thing.
Deep stuff.
It is. But then, that new moon in Taurus, a lovely energy for creativity, romance, connecting with children.
Oh, that's sweet. Okay, almost done. What about Aquarius? What should they be aware of experiencing?
Aquarius, April's all about your finances, your family, and some emotional healing from the past. That full moon in Libra, it could have you making decisions about travel, learning, your personal belief system.
Sounds like a lot to think about.
It is. And then Mars into Leo, your partnerships are activated, could be passionate, could be a bit confrontational. Boundaries are key.
So communication is important.
Absolutely. And finally, that new moon in Taurus, it's grounding you, bringing the focus to home, family, those emotional foundations.
Back to basics for Aquarius. And last but not least, what about Pisces? What can they look forward to in April?
Pisces, with Venus exalted in your sign for most of April, it's all about self-love, your values, what truly matters to you.
That's beautiful.
It is. And some themes from late January, early February, they might resurface for a final resolution. The full moon in Libra, that's about transformation, shared resources, those kinds of themes.
Interesting.
And then Mars into Leo, it injects energy into your work routines, your health. Might feel motivated to take better care of yourself.
Always a good thing.
Right. And the new moon in Taurus. That's your chance to really shape your financial destiny, increase your income, manifest abundance.
Wow. Pisces is ending April on a high note. Now, earlier you mentioned some specific dates we should be cautious about in April. Can you remind us what those were?
Absolutely. Early April, like the first few days, still carries some of that intense, kind of foggy energy from March, so just be aware of that.
Don't make any rash decisions.
Exactly. April 7th, Mercury goes direct. That helps clear the air. But then, April 13th, big one, Venus goes direct in Libra, and it's the full moon in Libra.
Double whammy.
Yeah. And remember, around that time, financial markets could be wonky, so be mindful with your money.
No impulse buys. Got it. Anything else?
Things start to ease up a bit around the 12th to the 14th as Mercury and Venus get back up to speed. But then, April 18th, Mars into Leo. And that's when the Mars-Pluto opposition starts brewing. Yeah. Could be some tension, especially on a global level, political stuff maybe. That opposition peaks around April 29th, and that's a really potent alignment. Think hidden actions, power struggles coming to a head.
Okay, so basically the second half of April, be extra mindful.
Exactly. And throughout the month, honestly, just avoid acting impulsively, especially in relationships and with money. Take your time, think things through.
Solid advice. Now, you also mentioned some potential global events based on these astrological alignments. What might we see happening on the world stage?
Well, it seems like those conflicts involving Ukraine, Gaza, America, they're likely to continue.
Oh no, that's worrying.
It is. A lot of astrologers like Steve Judd were pointing to continued global instability, power struggles. That mid-April period with Venus and Saturn might see some volatility in financial institutions, exchange rates.
Not a good time to invest then.
Probably not.
Yeah.
And then that Mars-Pluto opposition later in the month could bring some major political developments. Theodore was particularly vocal about that, especially regarding America.
Interesting. Anything else?
That new moon in Taurus at the end of April might highlight issues around scarcity and finances.
So April's a bit of a mixed bag, globally speaking.
It seems that way. But remember, Rick Levine also talked about the Saturn-Uranus sextile happening on April 4th.
Right, I remember that.
He sees it as a balancing force. Old structures meeting new innovations could be a sign of progress amidst the chaos.
Fingers crossed for that. Now, for our listeners who want to learn more, dive deeper into all this, where can they go?
Oh, we've got you covered. In the description below, there's a list of YouTube channels from some amazing astrologers: Theodore, Lothian, AstroKit, Lisa Salvatore, Helena Astrologer, Jupiter James. He's great for traditional Western astrology.
Wonderful. And what about Vedic astrology?
We've got that too. Joni Patry, Krs One, Vedic Living with Shree, Sem Geppi, they're all fantastic. Just remember, Western and Vedic astrology can have slightly different interpretations, even different sign placements sometimes.
Good to know.
Yeah, Joni Patry actually does a great job of bridging both systems. Definitely check them all out.
So learners, as you navigate the twists and turns of April 2025, keep this deep dive in mind. Transition, action, shifts in relationships, finances, the world at large. It's all in motion.
Think about what resonates with you based on your sun, moon, rising signs. How might these energies show up in your own life? April's going to be dynamic, that's for sure. Stay informed, trust your gut, and explore those astrologers we mentioned.
Absolutely. And here's a final thought to ponder. With all these new beginnings and potential shifts, what's one area of your life where you feel most called to take action this month? Regardless of what the stars say, what does your heart tell you to do?